Channels Television. Reporting tonight, Amarachi Uban.
Good evening and welcome tonight. President Jonathan replies Chief Obasanjo's letter, says he is in control of his government. Presidency says it is unperturbed by movement of PDP legislators to opposition party, calls the APC a sinking ship. Our correspondent in London, Doris Okenwa, speaks to experts on Nigeria's political future. And 3 prominent Egyptian activists bag 3-year jail terms for organizing unauthorized protests. We begin tonight with the latest on the issue of former President Chief Olusegun Obasanjo's letter to President Goodluck Jonathan. Well, the president today replied his predecessor, Chief Olusegun Obasanjo, in a 10-page response, which he referenced before it is too late. He gave 10 reasons why it is imperative to reply the former president, top of which was that Chief Obasanjo's letter clearly threatened national security and may inadvertently subvert the political structure of the country. He, however, assured the former president that he is in full control of his administration and is doing his best to resolve the problem of insecurity in the northeast. He has kept the promise of holding free and fair election in the country and has brought kidnapping for ransom under control. He, however, said that most of these problems are not made by his government, but inherited from successive administrations. He then listed the achievements of his administration to include the building of more universities, increasing the surveillance capabilities of the police, making the NCDSC more effective, among others. The president said that the most worrisome part of Chief Obasanjo's letter is where he alleged that he was training snipers and other militia to assassinate people. Quote, "Baba, I don't know where you got this from, but you do me grave injustice in not only lending credence to such baseless rumors, but also publicizing it. You mentioned God 17 times in your letter. Can you, as a Christian, hold the Bible and say that you truly believe this allegation?" President Jonathan also expressed worry that Chief Obasanjo could believe rumors that the NNPC did not remit $49.8 billion to the Federation account, calling its budget of a whole nation for 2 years. He wondered how anyone could fall to such. The president also denied imposing anyone on the Southwest PDP, calling on Chief Obasanjo to tender an apology to Nigerians. We'll bring you more on this as soon as we are able to put it across to you. But you can read up more on this letter on our website. It's www.channelstv.com. Well, it is the end of the year and a time when most people review their performance for the year. The presidency is not left out in this, and it has rated itself very good based on its transformation agenda. The president's senior special assistant on public affairs, Dr. Doyo Kupe, said today that the Jonathan administration has done well and will not relent in its efforts at making the lives of Nigerians better. Mr. Kupe also says the presidency is not perturbed by the movement of some of the members of the ruling PDP to the opposition APC, which he describes as a sinking ship.
Totally unperturbed by the parades, the seeming parade of giants and things, that political giants that the APC is cutting all over the country. When I came here and I told you that the ACN is spineless and they have no internal leadership of their own, people laughed. If they don't go out and fish in PDP quarters for leadership, they cannot stand. They don't have it among themselves. This parade that you see, this boat that is flying is doomed and is bound to sink. You can quote me. The APC boat is going to sink. It is destined for Red Sea, for a fact. You see, because what we're seeing is collection of those who have been the problems of Nigeria. How else can God free Nigeria from the shackles of oppression if he doesn't first of all collect all of them together in one boat and sink it? This is still the best administration we have had since independence. There's no administration in the history of this country that has achieved so much in 3 years since 1960 to date. None. If you know anyone, let's just go into the record, let's go into the history, bring out what they have done in 3 years. There's no administration in Nigeria that has achieved, and I mean it, and I'm standing by it. But if I'm to grade this administration, I would say very good. So far, it has performed very good. I will not say excellent, but I will say very good. That's the region of 60 to 65%.
Senior Special Assistant to the President on Public Affairs, Dr. Doyin Okupe. And the nation, no doubt, is experiencing a new phase in its political history, while the opposition, the All Progressives Congress, is counting its gains. The ruling People's Democratic Party is strategizing on how to remain at the top. But foreign affairs analysts who spoke with our correspondent in London, Doris Okenwa, insist that the ongoing drama poses a major threat to the country's existence if not properly managed.
The world is watching as Nigeria's political stage churns out epic performances, from party defections to open letters.
The implications of these is considered to be very great for Africa's most populous nation, which is now considered by many to be on the brink of a political implosion.
On the international scene, questions abound over the ongoing clash of titans. Questions like, what does a fractured PDP mean for Nigeria? What is APC's game plan besides sweeping PDP out? Will this culminate in a very violent 2015 general elections? And following the damning letter by former President Obasanjo, how should President Jonathan's reaction so far be interpreted? International Affairs think tank Chatham House London takes on some of these issues. Assistant Head of the African Program Elizabeth Donnelly argues that defections are democratic, but the extent parties might be willing to go to maintain or gain control poses an even bigger worry.
What does this mean in terms of actually security and stability? How far are politicians willing to go to achieve their ends? At what cost for their communities in terms of using divisive rhetoric and so on? So there are lots of questions around that, and those are the key concerns. It's really, I think, for a lot of international watchers, what are the impacts that this will have on Nigeria's security and stability in the near term and longer term?
African expert and publisher of the African Confidential Journal, Patrick Smith, puts it all down to the nation's president, his next move for the PDP, and in addressing the open letter from former President Obasanjo.
But there's been no formal reaction to the letter, so I could see a lot of factional fighting ahead in the PDP unless the president moves from the top. It's got to be down to the politicians to set the example, to talk among themselves and to say, well, look, politics should not be do or die.
Another salient point bogging the minds of many analysts here is the amount of governance actually getting done in Nigeria at this time amidst the whole political tension. The cliche of what happens when two elephants fight seems very apt in this scenario. But what the masses will do about this, whether they will allow themselves to be trampled upon, is entirely up to Nigerians to decide. Doris Okenwa, Channels Television News, London.
Away from politics, so now to violence. Gunmen have put a damper on Christmas preparations in Kaduna State after they invaded Chanchu village, killing 2 people and leaving 4 others severely injured. The invaders who attacked the village last night shot dead a man and his 4-year-old son. Those injured have been rushed to a nearby hospital for treatment. But confirming the incident to our correspondents, the State Police Commissioner Olufemi Adenaike said the attack was carried out by suspected Fulani herdsmen who hit the village armed with AK-47 rifles. However, he insisted that only 1 person was killed, while more policemen and soldiers have been drafted to the area to keep the peace. Over 100 villagers have been killed this year in Kaura local government area of Kaduna State.